This episode is brought to you by Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street. Craving something delicious in Paso Robles? Rad Scooter Deli on 6th Street has you covered. Enjoy tasty sandwiches, fresh salads, and smoothies like the Banana Nut Blast, my personal favorite. Kick back on the covered patio, sip on a cold beer and wine, and enjoy the easy parking. Order online for pickup or dine-in. And here's a treat. Use promo code PODCAST for $5 off your next order. That's podcast for $5 off your next order. Open daily from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Rad Scooter Deli. Local flavor, fast and fresh. This episode is brought to you by the White Wave Wellness. Choose to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Wellness is more than being free from illness. It is a process of change and growth towards a mentally and physically healthy lifestyle. Reach out to Jennifer Hale to learn more about how this water can change your life. This episode is sponsored by Western Janitor Supply. They have cleaning supplies and equipment for any workplace. Call today at 805-238-2112. They provide an extensive line of chemicals, paper products, and floor equipment. Again, that's Western Janitor Supply, located in downtown Paso Robles. This episode is sponsored by Santos Bros Plumbing. Are you in need of a dependable and effective plumber you can trust? Look no further than Santos Bros Plumbing, your trusted local plumbers in Paso Robles, California. Call them now at 805-360-4679. That's Santos Bros Plumbing. So we're on the Paso Robles podcast, and today we have Chef Rachel, who's been making moves, and I think you're. I don't know how popular you are, but I keep seeing you everywhere, so I have to have her on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So for the audience, just to start, can you tell us who you are, what do you do, and how you started?
Yeah, we can go way back if you want.
We can go as far back as you want. We can go you were cooking with your parents or something, and whatever inspired you to.
Yeah, so I'm Chef Rachel Ponce. Pleasure and honor to be here. My company is Pair With, and I feel like in life I kind of just fell into things. So I've always pushed myself. What makes me happy? Why I do things, and it's really the result of seeing people in a good place or feel good about themselves. So my career, I started as a dancer, professional dancer in Chicago, and that career was very difficult. And I started my own dance fitness studio, and it didn't matter who you were. You come in and have a great fun time, and I just really like making people happy. Uh-huh. That led to massage therapy, so very much jumped into wellness, and I always had a passion for cooking, and I did a wellness blog. I called it Fearless Fitness Chef, and it was all these yummy, delicious foods that were healthy, but you weren't missing. You didn't feel like you were cutting back.
Yeah.
And it just became really popular, and people were like, you need to blog this, you need to do this. I'm like, I don't even know how to do any of this. I'm more physical, massage, dance. Yeah. Fast forward to how I ended up here. My husband was one of the brewmasters at Goose Island in Chicago. Okay. And really good friends with Matt Brendelston at Firestone. And that's what brought us out here. So he took over the barrel age program at Firestone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was the reason why we moved here. And I've always loved cooking and never thought I would be doing what I'm doing right now, and just was just see what happens. I taught some pairing classes, and it just kind of evolved in, I think, word of mouth and, working with some really legit wineries, and it's just really helped my career. So
you moved over here. You weren't a chef yet. You weren't cooking professionally, charging money. Is it when you charge something, you're technically a professional? Is that how it goes? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm a professional podcast producer.
Yes, you
are. So there's always that one person that goes, you should do this and that. Who told you to start doing the workshops or the pairing and all that stuff?
My career here, I was pregnant when we moved here, and I met the owners of LXV. You familiar with them?
Yeah.
So Nita and Kaale. I was very pregnant, and she was like, if you want to help out, or just, I didn't know anybody, and they're very welcoming.
So you helped out at their place, And that's a good place to start because they do really good pairings there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So got to dabble in some of those spice pairings, and I tended to talk way more about food than wine. And I really think her letting me shine and, start cooking for some of their small parties and just letting me be me was really awesome, because some of my creations are very different out of the box, and that's what I push myself to do. But she was like, you can do this, you can do this. And then I met the owners at Parish when they were moving out to their new spot. And then they offered me the job of being their chef at the winery to start off. So it kind of just, like I said, I never was like, I'm going to be this chef. And I was like, yeah, bring it. I never stepped foot in a commercial kitchen. They did not know that. Like I had to like.
They just liked your food, and they're like, hey, we want to hire you as a chef. Which is interesting because I've been watching a lot of Bar Rescue because the new season's out. So they have a lot of people who cook in the kitchen, but they're not wearing chef's uniform, nothing, but they're the main cook. And when John Taffer finishes with that place, he gets them a chef outfit or what's it called? Is there a word for a coat? Yeah. And is there any like culinary school that you had to go to like kind of solidify like, oh, this is what I do now, or is just you just been going right in the wave?
I've just been going for it. Yeah. So self-taught. Definitely have close friends in the industry that I've been able to like, they have my back in any questions, especially being in a commercial kitchen on how it works. But it came super, super natural to me. Like I've never felt, of course you feel the stress, but I knew what to do, and it just came very natural. And now having a team, just knowing, how to run the team and run the show. It might not be textbook, but we're doing it.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Cause there's times where like we're cooking at home and it's completely different from when I worked at like a fast food place or any kind of other place that I've noticed. There's a lot more procedure to that. Like how was it overwhelming once you got into the kitchen, like knowing that, oh, you have to make sure this is sanitized, make sure this is clean. Obviously, you try to stay clean and sanitized when you cook at home. You don't want to get sick.
Right.
But like how big of a difference is it cooking at home and cooking professionally?
I think you just need to be aware, but there is classes that I had to take to make sure that I'm certified and know what to do in the rules of the kitchen. So like self-serve and safe serve and all that stuff.
Yeah, getting food certified. I mean, that's...
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, you learn and you know. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you had to find your staff and crew, right? Or your entire kitchen staff. I'm terrible with the names and terminology, but sous chef, like who'd you find? How'd you find them if you have one?
Yeah, well, I feel like catering's a little different than being in, because right now we're doing catering. We're working on opening up a restaurant. So depending on how many people I have or, the team that I need. Yeah. But yeah, definitely have a sous chef. I have 2 that I usually fall back on. And I'm hoping that they continue to grow with me and, go to the restaurant. I have a lot of awesome servers that can also tag team me in the kitchen if I need help plating to present the food with. But I feel so lucky. And it's been 5 years. So working with numerous people and then just finding that core group that I feel like they're going to stick with me. So, they better stick with me. If you're listening.
If they're listening. Yeah. Hopefully they're listening. That means they're supporting you, Yeah. So you said you've been doing it for 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and bring up pandemic. Is that something that kind of influenced your decision and career changes here?
I left Parish at the end of 2019, started my own business January 2020. So we started that way. So I do also feel like I was at the point where Eric was working in this position. We had 2 young children. I felt good if I had 2-3 dinners a month. And again, just getting my name out there, doing what I love, but also balancing home life. Yeah. With the pandemic, though, I didn't have an overhead or a restaurant yet. So I feel like I was lucky because that was such a scary time, to figure out how to balance this. So I wish I enjoyed my time at home a little more, but I was like, I just started this business. What's up? But then people started having more caterers at home or private chefs at home. And that's where I fell into it. And starting with parties that were like 4 or 5 people and then building it up to 2 weekends ago, we did an 800-person event. So it just, word of mouth.
That's insane.
Very grateful.
800, yeah. I mean, and to see, I mean, if you look at it statistically from 20 or for 4 to 5 people 5 years ago to 800, I mean, in another 5 years, what is that looking like?
Restaurant.
Restaurant.
You guys can come to me.
Are you staying local or?
Yeah,
okay.
so we'll make a announcement soon, but we are going to be in the Bottle Shop downtown Paso. It's a new place where there's 3 tasting rooms in there, another restaurant, and then we took 2 spaces.
Is that behind the theater?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll be there. Look out for the announcement when we're going to be open, but we're super, super excited. It's going to be small, intimate, fun. You'll have your fixed menu, but you also have a la carte. Eric's beers are going to be there, and beers from around the world that he's had a say in, or a recipe, or has helped out at these cool like farmhouse breweries.
There's some pretty big things happening behind the cinema. I used to manage it up until last December.
Okay.
So I'm no longer there. But as I was like throwing out the trash or whatever, I saw that building being built,
Yes.
right? And the Ava Hotel. I mean, if you keep saying lucky, I'm like, lucky, because that's going to bring a lot of people down a little bit that way. I think.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
That street alone, I've seen development pictures. I don't know how far along they are, making it a walking street only, getting more trees back there. So I don't know if that's 100%.
That'd be cool if it was walking only.
There's talk. Yeah. So, and we have big garage doors that we can open, and it's going to be a vibe. Like I feel it. It feels good.
So you've lived in this area for how long again? Since 2017, and you left 2019. You started your business 2020. I'm just trying to imagine, because like I get creative. I think I get creative with food sometimes. Is there anything that like food wise you try to create? You wake up one day like, oh, I should try this.
My 2 a.m.
Your 2 a.m. thoughts.
Ideas. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a notepad by my, like literally some of my best pairings. I like just wake up and I'm like, oh my God. But I really focus on what the pairings are, or what, if you're drinking wine or beer, and what flavors I want to enhance it. And I feel like that's how my creations and my dishes develop. People are like, how do you come up with it? And it's like, because I wanted something bitter, sweet, salty, and how am I going to put this together into one cohesive dish to make the wine or the beer shine? Because I never want to change what you're drinking. Because why should a food compete with what the winemaker or the brewer has put their heart and soul in that? So I really work hard to make sure that I elevate what's in the glass without changing it.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about food to ask more questions. I'm more interested on the business side.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to open up a restaurant.
Yes.
You know, hopefully nothing happens, another pandemic, you know, knock on wood. Is there anything specific you want to happen with the restaurant other than being downtown Paso and it obviously growing? Do you have plans for multiple locations? Like what are your ultimate goals here?
You know what? I get asked that a lot. And a very good friend that's also a chef is like, Rachel, you need to start thinking 10 years down the road. But I also think in my life, I've always just fell into stuff, and it's worked out. I like the small. I want to see my customers eat. I want to talk to them. I want to have a relationship with them. It's an open concept kitchen. So they're going to be seeing me and my team cook. Eric's going to be behind the bar. So really, I think just having a successful small business like that, being able to then develop a team that I can trust and, you know, not have to be there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, is the goal for now. But ask me in another 5 years and you don't know.
I'm picturing you like, oh yeah, I opened another in Atascadero, because that Atascadero is also trying to do things to like, you know, revitalize the area too. So I'm excited for Atascadero, but Paso has been growing so much, and I moved away because I got asked to manage a theater in Lemoore. There's nothing over there, but I need to learn how to do things. Every time I would visit between 2012 and 2016, before moving back, I just saw like the foot traffic growing and growing and growing and growing. So, and I grew up here, so I was one of those kids like, there's nothing to do. You know, we're just gonna go to the theater or the bowling alley or something, right?
Wait, they need to bring back bowling alleys.
They do. They absolutely do. And I think somebody with deep pockets has to come in.
Well, that's the thing. I came from a bowling family. My dad was a professional bowler. Mom and dad coached me. I was the first in the state of Illinois.
Oh, wow.
I know, like bowling family. But I think it was when we moved here, that bowling alley was just closing or about to close. And I was like, that would be so cool to get like a fine dining restaurant in there and then develop that. But it just, It's a lot of money.
Yeah, they closed it, it got sold or something, and or acquired by somebody else, and then they split the building. And then
Is that? I was like, I don't
one's
even
a
know where it
Dollar
is.
Tree now. One side's a Dollar Tree, and I don't know what the other side is. But because I mean, I remember in high school going every Friday night. I want to say Friday and Saturday night. It was like rock and bowl from 9 to midnight. Pay
Love.
$14. You can bowl all you want.
Love.
And yeah, it's sad because I mean there was also like some sort of talk between a trampoline house at some point, like just fun things for families to do, and that fell through. And I'm like, what is I get Paso is very like wine country driven, but it's I don't want to forget about the kids to keep them here,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Or even like some late night fun areas like that you can't. I mean, I'm coming from Chicago too. But
I mean, it's a big difference. I don't know why we're talking about Paso right now. We should talk about Chicago.
Well,
tell me some fun
like
stories there.
Chicago you're going to feel like a little piece of the city in our restaurant too. Like we're definitely bringing that, born and raised. I love that city so much. The diversity in the food, flavors, like you're going to see that in our spot.
Yeah, for some reason, when you say Chicago, I think of pizza. Is that deep dish? Or
Yeah,
what is that?
deep dish.
Deep dish.
But the locals eat the really thin crust,
Thin
cut
crust.
in squares.
Okay.
That's usually our go-to.
Huh.
Yeah.
So when you came over here, and did you explore the food a little bit, like the restaurants? Like what stood out more as far as your first time here? Was it? And you said you were pregnant when you moved here. So
Yeah, I think that was the decision.
yeah.
I don't know if I could leave Chicago without having a family. I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
But having the babies here, I just felt like this was very family friendly.
That's a good start.
We met some of our closest friends in the first month moving here, kids around the same age. So I feel like we developed a really good backbone in this community, and they're the ones that continue to support us too. So this Paso is very, very special to us.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, you hear stories all the time when people move here and all of a sudden, like it's automatically they're part of the community. It's very interesting. I want to know more about like, so you do catering, you do private events. Have you met any celebrities?
I can go back to my dance career.
Let's talk about dancing. Let's talk about dancing because I started learning like salsa bachata myself.
Yeah.
And I want to say before I moved back, so like 2014, 2015. And then when I got here, I started exploring it a little bit around here. But yeah, let's talk about what kind of dancing. I know there's...
Yeah, well, I went to Columbia College in Chicago.
Oh,
so art school. I was very lucky because they let you jump into your major right away. It wasn't like get those first 2 years.
General ed,
yeah.
yeah.
It was like, you're here for dance, get the other stuff in, but you're going to focus on dance. So I got to dance with Baryshnikov, which is a Russian ballet dancer.
Okay.
Amazing. I danced with Kaale, which that was before
How did that
audition.
happen?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was a backup. It's so funny because it just came up. I take Pilates, and for some weird reason, like I've not talked about that in forever, and it came up, and now I'm telling everyone listening.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then we did some celebrity basketball tournaments, like halftime things. So that you really got to dive into that community in the city. And then that's where I realized like being a professional full time is really, really hard, and started figuring out how to start my own studio where I could continue to dance and make people happy and not have that pressure.
And the dance fitness studio, how did that become a reality for you? Were you and this is where I get the questions of like business wise.
Yeah.
Location is everything, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go and start a dance studio off of Jardine. You know?
Hey, that's where I live. You never know.
It's a nice quiet area for now because Paso's growing.
Yeah. I taught at like 7, 8 different studios. So I was always jumping around.
Yeah.
There was this one studio that was so special to me. It was literally 700 square feet, very small, because I also taught yoga and Pilates. And everyone was like, you're teaching these huge classes at these big studios in the city. Why are you continuing to teach at this small little studio? And I was like, there's just something about it that was really special. Fast forward to like 3 years later, she was like, I want to give you this studio. And I was like, what? And she goes, you just take it turnkey and then just take everything over. She's an amazing woman. And I was like, well, let's, again, make everyone come to me and I won't have to be jumping around the city teaching. And being the size of it, I was there for about 4 or 5 months and had to like move my front desk out of the front door to get everybody in. And I was able to expand to a 2,500 square foot studio downtown. And that's where I met my husband. He took my classes. So yeah, it just fell into it. I wasn't like, I'm going to open up a studio. I'm going to do this. I live in the moment and see what happens.
So it's interesting when you're saying it fell on your lap or, stuff like that. Do you ever wonder, like, what if I did want these things, how much further I could go?
That is something I think it's just me personally. Cause I think if I'm like, when I moved here, we're going to open up a restaurant. Yeah. Eric, you're going to start your own. I think I would frustrate myself and it would be like this timeline instead of just continuing to do what I love, what feels good. If I'm in something and it's not feeling right, I'm not happy, I'm getting out of it. Yeah. Like life's too short. I need to make sure like I stay being able to balance life and business. And I've just been very lucky.
Yeah, I think about that all the time because the movie theater stuff felt kind of gradually happened. The first 3 years of working at the movie theater, I can tell it was being passed over, even though like my worth, because I started working at 15 and a half. How old were you when you started like working?
I was working as a dance teacher at 14.
Yeah. There's this weird like fundamental thing that happens with people who like are like-minded, who are just doing things just because they love it, and then they grow and learn, and if they don't like it, they move on or whatnot. And I remember like first 3 years, like at the theater, I was definitely being looked over because I had experience from fast food. So I know how to work fast. I knew how to like get things done and like not have to like, stay over or anything like that. So when other people would have their first job there and I'm already had 3 other jobs, I'm like, what's going on, guys? Like how'd you become manager before I did? Like, what's going on? Yeah. But I do think about like, what if I took a proactive stance on things like, oh my God, where would I have been? Would I have been owning my own theater? Like where would I have been? And I mean, you're doing great things, obviously. And I keep seeing you on social media. One, I follow you, but also like what was it called? For Her Table?
At Her Table?
At Her Table. You're doing a lot of these things. Is there anything in the future, just to kind of promote yourself a little bit, anything in the future that people should look out for?
Well, I do keep all my upcoming dinners on the website. So you can always follow if there's going to be tickets, because a lot of these dinners are members only, are private events, but just continuously trying to stay busy while the restaurant's being built. So balancing that. I hope when the restaurant is built, I'll be able to still balance doing some of these, but really focus on what we're doing there.
Yeah, I did take a look at your website, and even the ones that were private, you still had them on there just to show
people how busy I am.
Yeah, exactly. You have to flex it, and like even for me, it's like I'm having guest after guest, and even though like this is a free, like I'm not charging people to be as a guest, right? Because to me, it's like as long as we promote each other, like there's a win-win there, right? And I've had people are starting to reach out. I was like, hey, how much does it cost to be on your show? And I'm just like, I don't know how to answer that. So I told him, like, dude, let's just plan a date and time. You come in, we'll chat. That's it. But it's very interesting that you have to show, and it's not just for the people who are looking you up. It's for you to kind of like confirm, like, okay, I'm doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
And is there anything you want to pass along to your kids as they watch you through this process?
Oh, they're already jumping. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. My son loves to be in the kitchen with me. He talks about the restaurant, where he's going to be. He wants to be in the kitchen. My daughter wants to be front of the house. So I think with a lot of my friends that have restaurants or in the industry, I feel like when you're a young family, it just kind of comes hand in hand, and they might like it. They might not. If they don't, it's their choice. But I think they see what we're doing and the fun we're having too, and they want to be part of it.
That's awesome. And social media is a great way to document all that. That way you have something to, because I don't know, what did your parents do before, moving over here? Like, or, what did they do in their life? Like, what are their careers? I'm
very close to like what I think that's why my mom's probably going to be listening to me too. But she's like kind of hard on me. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? But my dad, he was always like, I'm going to start my own business. He was a telephone electrician and he bowled. So he was always doing his own thing. And then my mom had 9-to-5 job at the high school. So I take after my dad and like,
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that happens is if I close, you close. Like it's not the end of the world, but I don't want to ever look at my life and be like, what if I did that? What if I tried that? Like life's too short to, wonder why. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do have a few of those things. Like we should have bought that limousine back in the day because Paso blew up and did tours. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine. We almost bought a limousine. It was used and we would have fixed it up. But it's just like, and then he asked for more money and I'm like, never mind. But I'm putting my mom on blast every once in a while, but like she's very like 9-to-5 as well.
Yeah.
And even now it's like it's always been like go back to school, finish school, like do this, get this other job, and she'll like throw like ideas at me. That's very 9-to-5 specific because that's what she knows how to do. Mm-hmm. But then there's been times where when I was younger, I would see her and that little spark of wanting to do something different. And then I don't know what reality hits or life hits, and you just see her like, no, just 9-to-5.
Yeah.
9-to-5.
I think also though with my mom, when I was like, I want to go to school for dance, there was not even a second thought. Like, you're going to do this is what you want to do. You'll figure it out. Cause I know a lot of my friends, it was like, no, you should go to school for something else. But they wanted to see, me grow and do what I love and see where it took me. So weirdly, it took me to getting to have a restaurant. Yeah.
I mean, I know when you started telling me like you used to be dancing at a dance studio and then cooking, and I'm just like, okay, because you can take anything that you love doing and make it work, make it pay the bills or whatever you want to call it. And I see that all the time with people. I get inspired by somebody who's doing something, like they'll make something like knitting or whatever, right? Or something as simple as that. And I'm like, if it looks good, I'm going to tell them like, you should probably be selling that stuff on like Etsy or Whatnot, the new app that, you can sell stuff on. Like it's kind of like QVC. Yeah, check it out. Whatnot. It's like blowing up. It's like TikTok when people are selling on there. Mm-hmm. It's and I'm trying to dive more into it because I want to learn. But the one thing I do understand from it is stuff that you have. You can't like drop ship, like sell from another source. Like it's stuff like if you have a stack of playing cards, like or baseball cards, you can hey, I'm selling these, and then you just sell them through the app.
What?
Yeah, it's like spring cleaning but QVC style.
Nice.
So like I'm watching people do stuff with like their own with what they create. My mother-in-law makes piñatas. And
no way.
Yeah, she makes piñatas, and I'm just like, and I posted one of hers on Marketplace. And I got a few bites, but like, who else makes piñatas in this area?
Piñatas are expensive.
Yeah, because it takes a long time to make. But like, if it comes out good, I gotta tell her she got to work on the eyes though. They're like a little crooked every time. Like I don't know. She posted.
Maybe that will be her thing.
Yeah,
crooked eye piñata.
Maybe like a crooked eye piñata company. I don't know, but she shared a picture of now and then, then and now on Facebook. And you see one picture of one character, crooked eyes. And then she shows the most recent one, crooked eyes. And I'm like, what's the difference? But the piñata still comes out looking good, as long as she can fix the eyes.
Is this your mother-in-law?
Mother-in-law.
Watch what you're saying.
I've told her, she doesn't listen. She might listen, I don't know. She might try to support me in one way or another. But I see this from people who are like really, really good at what they do, and it's not their main profession. And I'm like, you have to. That's why I want to have people sitting down in here so I can be like, oh, I was in that point of their life where,
Yeah. Well, I think it comes from your heart.
Yeah.
Like I've always said this with every job that I've done. Mm-hmm. If I'm not happy when it comes down to like everyday living, I'm gonna detour and do something else.
Yeah. What advice would you give to people who are in that situation right now, who are thinking like, oh, I'm not happy what I'm doing? Like, what would your advice be if you're sitting across from them right now?
Take a chance on yourself. I feel like I feel the support from other people, whether it's in this community in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to believe in me, you got to believe in yourself. And I feel like that's what comes through, and that's how people read it. And I think the one thing that when I do these dinner, it's like we could taste your passion. We could taste it coming from your heart. And I think that's what helps me grow and keep going. But yeah, I would say take a chance on yourself.
Yeah, I think there's and this is what I'm doing here is taking a chance on myself too, which is kind of scary. And the more I do it, the more I'm like, I don't know if I did the right thing. Do you have those thoughts ever? I mean, right now, I don't think you do because you're doing an amazing job.
If I say, Yes, my husband's going to be like, Rachel,
why are you being so negative? No, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where like, maybe this might be too TMI, but like there's mornings where I wake up and I'm thinking about like, did I do it right? Am I doing it right? And I know right now it's not one of those times where I should be asking that question because the results aren't like what I want them to be. And maybe they'll never will be. It could be something completely different. And then I get somebody who reaches out via email or whatever saying, hey, we want you to be part of this like community of podcasters. You can be a guest or you can be a host. We just connect, pair you up with whoever you want. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I did due diligence and I go online and I go research them a little bit, and their top one viewer-ish, whatever person's like less than mine. And I'm just like,
I also think it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't happen
people
overnight.
see how busy we are now, but like at the beginning, like I said, my goal was 1-2 dinners a month, and I also think that's probably why I'm not like being like, oh, I want to do this and do that, because my goal was small where I could get there and then grow from there and then see what else happens. So
and that's good, because I mean, you stick to what you want, what you know, and everything. And I'm sure you'll sit down with more people and they're asking you the same exact questions, like, hey, what's next? What's big? Everyone wants to know the inside scoop on how your brain's working and stuff like that. So it's very interesting that you're keeping yourself humble, so to speak. Thank you. One of the things I noticed you on Instagram is like, and I'm hoping to get him here soon too, is Adam. Mm-hmm. He's how did you guys meet, and like who else is in your circle? Because I also want you to promote them however you want.
Yeah.
I want you to acknowledge the people that are helping you and you're helping them, because this is, obviously free promotion for everybody.
Who's Adam?
I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. Up and Adam. You know what's funny? He's
a very good friend of mine. Yeah. So
I've been trying to I pick his brain on Instagram. Like I'll send him messages. He's so great and answers them and all. And I'm like, if he doesn't, I'm okay with that. But
no, he's same. I feel like surround myself with people and the people who I want to hang out with, and we're very much alike, and we're normal people that just want to have a good time. So
yeah, and he's been doing what he's doing for such a long time. You can tell it in the way his demeanor is on any show or anything he does. And I'm like, okay, how'd you do this? And how'd you become this? And what questions about sponsors? I ask him about everything. And one of the things I'm very, very much trying to lean more on is, if I see someone who is doing great or is a great personality, whatever, I need them in my life. How do you find your people, and how do you make them stick around, if that makes sense?
I think the people that I surround myself, we all lift each other up.
Okay.
It's not, and I could see when I see someone, I don't want to sound rude, but that aren't that team player kind of people. And
Debbie
I'm just,
Downers.
Yeah. Or just talking about like, everyone's struggling and it's hard. But I don't want to put that out because I want to, stay lifted and, does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a saying that rolls in my head every once in a while. It's like, you're the average of the 6 people you hang out with. So if 5 people you hang out with are like Debbie Downers, you're probably most likely going to be a Debbie Downer.
You are one of those. Yeah. I have a picture of the first time I met Adam. It was when I was working with Alex V, and we were promoting some kind of dinner that we were doing. And I, again, having young kids, Renan, my son, was like, not even 1 year old. And literally the whole interview sat on Adam's lap, like trying to eat the microphone. And I was like, I need to get to know this guy. He was just so cool and fun. And I think just doing interviews after that, and then, having dinners together and having them over, and just realize,
I want to ask, has he helped you become comfortable with the interview style, like kind of shows?
I think my career.
Your career?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because being in front of people, talking's so different than dancing, and I feel like I've gotten better at it. Yeah. But I'm like, I can dance in front of a whole theater, but then talking in front of people gets a little. But every dinner I do, I talk about the food, and the winemaker talks about the wine. Yeah. So just talking from my heart, and I feel like don't have to force it. Yeah.
Well, with you working at LXV, like I said, they do very good pairings, but it's so out there with the spices and stuff like that. And that's why I enjoyed when I went there tasting and I did everything. It was really nice because like it's different than, your cheese and crackers or whatever.
Oh, you can't even compare it.
Yeah. Where's I going with this right now? I had something I was going to ask. Oh, what's the craziest pairing you feel like you've done?
Well, I just did a pairing, which even my sous chef was like, is this a typo? And I was like, no. I did a tuna tataki, but I served it with a savory ice cream. So the ice cream was made out of miso, wasabi, and ginger. And then the tuna was with it. So then you had like the savory ice cream sauce with the tuna. I really push my limits.
Yeah.
If I think of something, I'll even sometimes Google it.
Yeah.
Has anyone done this before? No one's done it. I'm like, oh, that's all me. So there's so many amazing chefs in this area. I feel like I really try to look outside the box, and so you don't get the same thing.
You get a lot of requests to specifically pair certain things, or do they leave it up to you?
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky where they're.
Again,
it's taken a while though, like to get there where they're like, oh, we can trust her. Yeah. And that's when I do my best. It's like taste our wines here, take home a couple bottles, figure it out. And one of my good friends is a winemaker, and I do dinners with him quite a bit. And he's always like, I don't want to look at the menu. I don't want to think about your menu, because I'll start being like, what is she on? Like, this does not make any sense. And then when you eat it, it does. So I have fun with that.
A few years ago, or before 2020 for sure, I went to Cass Winery, and they did a pairing class, but it was to the extreme. So they did lemon like shavings, and just to taste from white to red, and then you just went across the whole palette. And I found for me the darkest red and the whitest white, or whatever however that was, paired well with chocolate. Everywhere I went, chocolate was good. Did you at the beginning, and I don't know how often you do it, do you find yourself testing these things to see what else you can find and how you can pair it later?
Absolutely. I think that's a great learning way for you to taste, because I'll also teach pairing classes, and we'll give someone, this is a bad pairing. What are you tasting? Because I feel like you go to these dinners and no one's gonna be like, oh, this tastes like crap. Here. But when you can taste ingredients and be like, oh, that does hit, or that did change the wine. Yeah. That's how you learn. And that's how I taught myself. When we were in Chicago, Eric, my husband, aged a lot of beers in wine barrels. Okay. So we went to Napa and took our WSET classes. And that's where I was like, okay, I was in there. I think I was the only one that was not career. Like, everyone was there who was working at restaurants or in the industry. And I was that annoying person asking question after question, like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. So when we finished that class, I would sit and have a couple different bottles and taste random things from my cabinet, mustards, olives, whatever it is, and just put it on my palate. What does that do? What does that do? And I was just doing it for fun. And I think moving here, then I was like, wait, I kind of have a way to pair that I don't see anyone else pairing that way. So it makes it really fun. But also, was there a question that I'm around?
How often do you still do that? Like,
okay. Yeah. So yes, I did. To then having a couple dinners a week, my tasting notes were like pages long. And I was like, I cannot go through this and figure out how to do it. So now I've mapped out my tongue. This is not a technique. This is something I made up with. And every time I taste something, where does it hit my palate? And I'll write down those numbers. So then when I get home to try to create these dishes, I'm like, okay, this had salinity in it. This had umami in it. Now I want to hit the other parts of my tongue with the dish. So when you eat and drink, it's a complete dish. And that's how I create my pairings. So if you taste lemon in that white wine, I'm never going to pair it with anything citrus, vinegar, like it will destroy the wine, taste flabby, taste different. But if I were to pair it with chocolate, like you said, that bitterness with that citrus, that could be something that could work. Yeah.
Yeah. If every once in a while, for like a red wine, it can be like a Tempranillo or something like that. And I get like, I'll take some chocolate chip cookies, like just to hang out or whatever. And I literally, it's weird. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'll take a bite and I'll take a sip at the same time. And it's all in my mouth right there, like milk and cookies.
Yeah. I love that.
And every time I tell it to somebody who doesn't normally do that, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? This is good. I don't know how else to explain it. In your face. Like, I'm not like mouth washing it, but at the same time, it's like, this is a really good pairing to me, at least. Because like, a lot of people aren't red wine drinkers. They're a lot more white or sweet or dry or whatever. But in my head, I'm just like, chocolate fits well with a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Except cab. Everyone's
Except
like,
cab?
oh, I want a Cabernet
really?
and chocolate. I'm like, never. There's a lot
I
of
don't
those
know.
rich chocolate notes. So in my class, I will take a cab because I feel like that's such a pairing that everyone, like from when my mom
Yeah.
drinks, like it's always like, oh, I need my cab and chocolate. But when you taste it together and really think about what's happening and then taste the wine again, the wine changes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's chocolate notes in, I shouldn't say all cabs.
Yeah.
because
I
they're so
have come
different.
across a few cabs that are like lighter, you know, and a lot of them are more like earthy and whatever. But for, I don't know, it's chocolate. And so it's always chocolate. And then there's times where I do have a cab and I'm like, it's fine by itself. I don't even want to eat.
Yeah,
Like I'll be,
yeah.
if I'm ever at a dinner and I taste a good wine, I'm like, I don't even want to ruin it right now.
Yeah, no. And that's why pairings are so important.
Yeah.
So you could eat with it, but is it the right food?
Yeah. And I guess one of the things and when you have your restaurant is, that's something you probably are going to teach your staff, right? Like if obviously the waiter, whoever the waiter is or is coming up, like they need to be knowledgeable about all these things. Do you aside from catering, are you hired to do classes?
Yeah, so I do educational classes. I'll work with some wineries too to like
Okay.
go over the wines. That's a big thing in the restaurant that I want to present is education. Like I want every server to know our story,
Yeah.
know the pairing. Why did chef do this?
Yeah.
I want diners to sit, relax, enjoy like a couple hours service. It's not like a big turnaround restaurant. I want them to have an experience that they're not going to forget.
Yeah. Well, what is there? I know I don't think there's such a thing as a favorite because you don't want to play favoritism. But is there any favorite restaurant you like go to? If somebody tells you, "Hey, what restaurant should I go to?"
No, I can't do that.
Okay, top 5.
It's too many friends.
Too many friends. Okay. Okay.
It's like,
immediate downtown. That way you're not bothering anybody outside of downtown.
well, of course, Julian, he's a great friend of mine. He's so talented. I embarrassingly have not been to his new restaurant. It's just,
Who's Julian?
at LPC.
LPC. What's LPC?
I'm going to screw it up. My Chicago.
I'm terrible
La Petite Canaille. Wait a second. You need to get yourself a reservation.
I know.
Right
I need to.
And then his new tapas place.
I heard about the tapas place
Yes.
for sure.
He's very talented.
Okay.
And then Chef Justin Kingsley is the chef there. He's amazing. Their whole team. It's a really, really good group.
Yeah. The the place I keep going for our anniversary, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's El Ligretto, the restaurant inside. I can't remember, Cello or something.
Yeah.
We go in there, and I'm very picky with my food. Like I don't like vegetables. I always say I'm allergic, even though I'm not. And even when I was a kid, my mom would have to make rice without onions and make rice with onions. She'd give me the ones without onions, And even when I got married, my wife would notice that. And I would take a bite of a burger that my mom made and it had onions in it. And I just look at it. She goes, "Okay, no, just keep eating. Ignore the onion." I'm like, "I know, it's fine. It's just I had to look at it." But that, and that's where that restaurant kind of opened my world as far as it's so all the food they make is okay. Or it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm eating like vegetables I didn't recognize, and that was crazy for me because I don't even eat tomatoes.
Well, now you can't say that because you do.
Because I do. So like once I started eating more, food that is meant to enhance.
Yes.
All of a sudden my world's completely different. Like obviously I can't go home and I can try to make the same stuff, seasonings.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm just like, okay, what have I been missing out on?
Or the freshness, where
freshness,
they're getting
yes.
it. It wasn't
Yeah.
frozen vegetables.
Right, yeah,
It's
that's
real
it.
vegetables you're getting from the Central Coast.
Yeah.
Idaho's the go-to. I love them over there. I always just pull up a seat at the bar and chill with Chef Mark. There's so many good ones and they're so different. That's why I think Paso's such a special place, and hopefully we can go. She's a go-to. So, yeah.
You referenced to quite a few chefs. Is there a club that you guys are a part of in the area? Like, do you guys want to create a club? Because that'd be kind of cool.
So
Call
weird.
it Club Chef or something.
I actually think it was Mark at Edo. The last time I was in, we talked about. I really think it was him. Said we should start this like chef thing.
Start
Would
a
you be
club.
in?
Yeah.
I would be down. We just have to figure out the night. That's the thing, is how busy are we all?
Yeah. Coordinating a hangout spot or one night or whatever. But
I think it's also the chefs that I am closest with, or like they all have each other's backs too.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gone through a couple things, like having a restaurant in Tascadero. We ended up closing that, and Julian reached out right away and was like, do you want to do a pop-up at our place? And it was just, I felt really down to then being like, oh my gosh, these people really do want to see me continue to cook. And it was like a friendship since then. So we all lift each other up. I think the more of us there are, and the good food makes this community.
Yeah. And I know that the way you keep talking about them, it's like, okay, there has to be something out there already, because you guys are like, and I see posts and you're tagged in it and all stuff. It's like, okay, so there's definitely like a Illuminati style chef club out there.
Was that a Chicago? Illuminati's is the Chicago pizza.
No. Yeah. That's just dumb luck from my end. But that's funny. Because even now I'm thinking about like the whole podcasting thing, and I'm trying to find people who are wanting to learn or are experienced in podcasting. And I want to create that network of everything is, if you go online, you can find communities, but they're LA, San Francisco, in this area. I mean, there's Adam, there's people from Slow Talk. I mean, there's a couple other people that kind of do their thing or are starting to, and I'm just like, talk to me. I want to talk to people.
Do a club.
Eventually, I think I got to start it. I don't know. I feel like I need like more experience or something. It's like the weirdest feeling. But you said take a chance, so I might just put it out there. Like, hey, I want to start a club. We meet once a month, talk about gear.
My thing is since I opened up that studio, if I had one student that showed up or 50, I taught it the exact same way. Yeah. I'm very grateful for that person. So if you start a club and you get one person to come, it's one person, then it will grow, and sometimes you go up and down, and that's life. And I think even with the restaurant, like you can't be so hard on yourself. Like you're going to have crazy busy, amazing days. And then some days that you're not as busy, but it will turn around.
Yeah. I think I should just do it.
Do it.
Here's a funny story. During not the pandemic. It was, first there was the Taylor Swift movie that came to theaters, and that one played specific days. So we had days that we didn't have anything on the screen. So that happened. That was busy. That went away. I took advantage of empty screens by doing like comedy night and stuff like that, right? The second one was Beyonce did the exact same thing. She wanted specific days.
Oh, where was their concert?
Yeah, the concert. So they played the concert on as a movie, but that only played like on the weekend. So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday like completely open. And somebody in your circle wanted to rent out the theater for when you were on TV.
I heard that.
And I felt so terrible because before we found out we were getting the Beyonce movie, so I had no empty screen. So I gave her the price, and that was it. But then we found out, oh, we have an empty screen, and I'm like, I forgot to save her number. So I started reaching out to you. It was like, hey, when is it? Do you want the screen? I won't charge.
Aww,
like,
I know.
And I was trying to put you on TV, and that's just a fun story I wanted to share with you, because I like the situation was just like the craziest thing.
And
right?
I was like, yeah, I didn't do so well, so I'm good.
Well, talk to me a little bit. What happened there? How'd you get on the show to begin with? And
yeah, I thought, I didn't even think it was real.
That was the Food Network show.
Chopped.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got someone DM'd me. Yeah. And they were like, your food's so pretty. We were wondering if you'd be interested in going on Food Network Chopped. And I was like, there's no way this is legit. Yeah. And I said, if you jump on a call with me, because then I was like, if someone jumps on a call, it's got to be kind of a legit. Yeah. So it was on speaker. My mom was visiting. And when we got off, we both were like, this is legit. So it was about 11 interviews.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went through, I think it was 3 or 4 different producers.
Okay.
So on screen, Zoom calls, to then get chosen. And then we knew 2 weeks before flying to New York that we were going to be on the show. I actually was doing Big Sur Food and Wine Festival. I had their Somm dinner, and I called her and I was like, I have to go to New York. So another chef covered for me, and he brought my food. He's not here anymore, but Chef Jacob at Niner brought my food to Big Sur, cooked the dinner, the course for me, so then I can go to New York. But even when I was there, I was like, this is not real. It was really cool. I wish I wasn't as nervous. Like I legit, like even holding my knife, and I was like, oh my God. But I'm allergic to seafood, and I opened up the box and it was seafood. So I immediately went into panic, went to the producer, and they're like, we know, but you can't tell the judge. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are stirring the pot right now. So I was really nervous. I couldn't taste. And it wasn't even like working on my own dishes. It was like if someone passed me garlic powder and they touched the shrimp and then gave it to me and I touched that, like didn't have my EpiPen. So there was like two nerves happening, like being on national TV, winning a competition, and then being allergic to the seafood. But I did it.
Yeah. And do you ever go back and watch it again?
No. But my son does not let me forget it. We were watching a cooking show recently, and he was like, remember you're on that one and you lost, Mom? And I was like, yes, I remember.
Yeah, he's going to keep you humble.
But it was really cool. They actually came down here. We filmed at Ninau. We got a little behind the scenes. My kids were on TV. They saw themselves. We had a little viewing party. Adam was there, the Ninau. It was really fun and special. I would do it again, and I would go into it so differently because I feel like I was really trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
And that was, this is now 2 years ago. And now I would cook what I'm good at and not like really try to, I don't want to say show off, but like more of like, oh, I'm going to do all this stuff. It's just like
your strengths
and simplify it at 20 minutes, just simplify it. So.
Yeah. Did it give you any ideas as what to do with your, how to showcase it for you? Like, do you want to start your own show, no matter how small it is? Like, put a camera, put a lapel mic.
Weirdest thing you say that, since I wasn't even in food, this was like when I was in college, I loved cooking shows. And I always told my dad, I was like, I'm going to have a cooking show. Still don't, obviously, but I've always wanted to have a cooking show. I've always loved cooking. I've done it since I was a kid. I think that's why it comes so natural, cooking with my parents. And we grew up in going to the lakes in Minnesota, and, my mom and I were the ones filleting fish, and it comes natural. And I think it would be fun.
Yeah, because I've seen on TV, like Selena Gomez is cooking alongside a chef or something, and they're being taught at the same time. That'd be kind of cool if you do that with, whoever you want to.
Oh, it would be so fun. I would have so much fun with that.
Let me help.
Let's go.
I have mobile cameras. All I need to do is get lapel mics and we're set.
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool.
And the kitchen, when it is built, is open concept, so we even can do it there. Yeah,
as long as there's good lighting. I have my lamp and stuff like that, but I'm always thinking about these things. I want to get in more on the producer side of everything, right?
Yeah,
that's why I rent it out. And the people can rent out the studio for their own means, whatever. I'm just behind the scenes doing in real time editing the video. I never have to edit afterwards, kind of thing. The only thing I do is put an intro and outro.
Okay.
So I'm here changing the camera angles as we're talking.
Oh
yeah.
And see, that's even my Instagram stuff. I'm getting to the point where I got to hire someone.
Yeah, I know. But
I try.
The question is, who do you hire? Because I've looked just for the fun of it. I've looked at who is in the area, and unless they're young and hungry, they're Bakersfield, LA, San Francisco, and they're hundreds of, even thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's for me, it's okay, I got to figure out how to, I figured it out. It's just I'm trying to do more of the producer side. Yesterday, I just had an episode go live for a local filmmaker. It's called 2080 Film. He's currently in a challenge, disabilities challenge film, something like that. So he it's people with disabilities who are filmmakers, and they elaborate more on what it's about. But his film is really good. I don't want to go too far into it. However, I started thinking of how can I help him, and then he starts thinking how he can help me, because apparently there's the Woodland. Oh, I just looked it up too. It's they called it Disneyland of Paso. It's a
Disneyland.
It's they do a lot of stuff let me see if it's still on my search bar. Daniel's Woodland Incorporated.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. And apparently he has a lot of props and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they're like, you should have him on the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I should. And then I'm like,
but you can go in that space.
So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try to take my mobile, because everything is Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
As long as there's Wi-Fi, I can put the camera wherever I want. There's no cables going anywhere.
Yeah, they have like great, just because when they were doing that roundabout, my kids were at the high school for their preschool. And so I had to cut through and I'm like, what the heck is this place?
Yeah. I feel like I got to go check it out. And now Tom's like, yeah, let's just record on site. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Everything's been in here, and now I'm trying to do more of that. And then on top of that, I want to, practice or try to do shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like it's going to be like one beneficial for everybody. And two, like I just learned the trade or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But, what would we call the show?
Oh my God. Going back to my dad, when I cooked, I burned myself a lot and cut myself. He's like, you should name your show Ouch. And I was like, thanks. I would not name my show Ouch. I'm pretty good now.
Okay.
This was way back.
But you what is it called? You take the power. You take the power of that word and make it your own.
Yeah,
so
right?
It could be that. I had a buddy who used to, in Lemoore, who used to work for me, and he would get really red and sweaty. Doesn't matter how hot it is. It's just as he's working, he starts getting red and sweaty. And he was in the Marines. And I'm like, hey, can I give you a code word because of how I'm seeing it? He's like, yeah. And it's going to sound cool. It's not great, but I think it sounds cool. And I was like, can I call you heat stroke?
Oh.
He's like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you take the power of a negative thing and make it positive. Yeah. Or you can just call it like, Chef Rachel show or something.
Yeah. We're going to move from Ouch to something else.
Club chef.
But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on that for some reason because I know there has to be like some sort of, and you can bring other chefs on the
Underground.
Show. Underground chef. Yeah. Underground. Underground chef. My mind's like just racing.
That's how mine goes with food. Like, it's just stupid in there.
Is there anybody else or anything else you want to promote?
I think the biggest thing is just really like stay tuned. We'll make it an announcement soon and let everybody know exactly the details when we're opening, and we're just really, really excited. Yeah. Also follow Eric, Cellar Fermentation. He's been around for a long time and he's bringing some really, really cool beers into this restaurant. So I'm excited. If
you ever want to bring him as a co-guest.
I know I thought about it today, but then he kind of made me upset. I was like, I'm going to go by myself. I'm just kidding.
No, it's just, I want to, of course, I want to just tell everybody's story is my goal. However I'm going to do it, I'm going to tell, whether it's just sharing a post or having them on a podcast. Like for me, it's like, I have these conversations. I'm like, oh, how many I should have documented and just posted. So that's my goal. Yeah. But thank you so much.
Oh my God. It's been fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And then I'll apologize to Adam real quick. I was joking about forgetting his name.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he on the show. Watch, when I have him here, he's going to do the same thing to you. Chef who? Chef Rochelle?
Rochelle? Who's that girl?
Who's that girl? Like, yeah. That's funny. That's good.
Oh man. You got to have fun in life, huh?
Yeah. Thank you once again.
Thank you.